let's start with you here. Is Draymond right to be disappointed in Jordan along these lines?
I think in this particular situation, Laura and Max, he was completely wrong. I totally disagree with Draymond Green on this particular issue. First of all, he has to listen to what Michael Jordan said specifically. Michael Jordan said Scottie Pippen was selfish and wrong in this particular situation. He was talking specifically as it pertained to that season and Scottie Pippen's actions prior to the start of the season. We saw on the documentary Scottie Pippen literally say he postponed his surgery because he wasn't going to, quote, F up his summer, end quote. He didn't want to do it. He said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to relax, and I'm going to wait as long as I possibly can to get this surgery. And then by getting this surgery, it was going to impede on the season. He didn't know when he was going to be able to come back. In that particular moment, he did not care. How was a teammate supposed to feel? Because at the end of the day, listen to what Jordan was saying when we were being interviewed. I had made a decision that under no circumstances am I going to allow anybody not wearing the uniform and being on the court with us to affect what we do. So in other words, you know how management was. You knew Reinsdorf from years earlier wasn't going to change, wasn't going to budge. And oh, by the way, Draymond, I got news for you. The $33 million, the $36 million that ultimately Michael Jordan received in his last 2 years, Michael Jordan was religiously underpaid. It wasn't that big of a deal to him in the end because he was making so much money from Nike and endorsement deals because he was MJ. But for many, many years, Reinsdorf wouldn't budge with him either and wouldn't pay him. And everybody knew that the Bulls were getting over hand over foot because you didn't pay Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan was qualified to say what he said because he had endured from Reinsdorf what Scottie Pippen endured. He didn't let that prevent him from stepping on the court and striving to win championships. Scottie Pippen, at least at that particular moment in time, although we all understand why, literally was willing to jeopardize the season for them. It appeared to be that way. And I don't blame Michael Jordan for feeling that way. And there was nothing wrong about him saying what he said about Scottie Pippen in that particular moment. He didn't castigate him or generalize or say he hated Scottie Pippen. He said right then at that moment, I thought he was wrong.
Well, in this case, I respectfully disagree. I think there is a point of view there, but I disagree with you, and I agree with Draymond Green. I think Jordan should have stuck up for Pippen there and not called him selfish. Look, here's the bottom line. Pippen was more underpaid than Jordan, although I suppose you could argue Jordan, anytime he's underpaid, is the most underpaid. But Pippen was criminally underpaid. You say, well, he signed the contract, he knew the risks, etc. Yes, but toward the end of that contract, you tear it up, you give him a new one. Well, Krause thought he was breaking down. And that's really what ended the dynasty, Stephen A. Krause looked at Michael Jordan's main support, Scottie Pippen, and said, he's breaking down, we got to tear this up. We got to tear it down and start again. And he wasn't wrong. Pippen was breaking down by Pippen standards. He wasn't the same player going forward by Pippen standards. But let's look what happened when they traded Scottie Pippen. Houston won almost twice as many games as they lost the next year with Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen then went to Portland. Stephen A., they almost won 60 games. They won 59 games. And then the next year they won 50-something games. And let's look at what the Bulls dynasty would have done if they would have kept Pippen happy. Which means in addition to standing up for your boy, standing up for your teammate who's underpaid, it's in everyone's best interest because I'm going to argue the Bulls would have won at least 2 more championships. The mighty 99-2000 Lakers, who won the championship that year, were lucky to get by Portland in 7 games. And Pippen was not the same guy, but just imagine if he had Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson and company. You think the Lakers, who could barely get by Portland, were going to get by them? Well, I don't think so. So Pippen continued to win at an extremely high level. Meantime, what happened to the Bulls? The Bulls, 15 wins, 18 wins, 20 wins, during the same time that Pippen was still succeeding at a very high level. Jordan should have stuck up for him. Maybe that would have made the difference. Pippen should have got paid, and this thing shouldn't have been broken up.
Listen. All of us agree, and I said yesterday Pippen should have got paid, that Reinsdorf was the real criminal in all of this for being so dogged in his approach towards Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is one of the 50 greatest players that ever played. I don't care what anybody said. At that time that Michael Jordan had retired, Scottie Pippen was a top 2 player in the league, if not number 1. It's a debate between him and Olajuwon because Scottie Pippen was that phenomenal. But here's what no one has brought up, Max, including you. And I'm surprised you missed this because you're a stickler for these things. When you have the leverage, exercise it. Excuse me, if you've got a back issue and you've got an ankle issue, is that the time to try to be dogged in your approach and to try to flex whatever muscle you believe you have? Or would the time have been when Jordan retired? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.